This is Potion, and you're listening to
Music Power is Podcast.
This is Potion from San Francisco, and you're listening to
Music is Power Podcast.
Yay! Thank you.
yes, that was it.
Joining me here today on Music is Power Podcast are the band Potion, and they're from San Francisco, and we are speaking live today with Annie and Michelle.
Hello.
Hello there.
Hi.
How are you today?
Good, thanks.
And
We're really excited to be speaking to you in Bulgaria.
yeah.
It's so exotic for us.
I'm excited to speak with you as well. There's a whole you're on the other side of the world, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And first question for you is, can you tell me how everything began with the Potion, and when your interest in music started?
We always like music, but I'm originally from Montreal, and I love traveling, and I played a lot in other bands that never got famous, but we played everywhere in the United States and in Canada. And one time I arrived in San Francisco, and I met Annie in front of a coffee shop in North Beach, which is a neighborhood in San Francisco. And then we just start talking, and then she was interested in music too, and we just hooked up. And then I decided to move to San Francisco, and we started a band together.
When was that actually?
When was it? In 2000.
In 2000.
In the year 2000, and we put out our first record, which we recorded in Los Angeles in 2001, and it was called Among Dreams. And then we started touring. We did the tour of the West Coast, and then we went to Spain. We toured acoustically, and then we came back and we prepared our next album in 2000, which was Circa. And then we were supposed to tour in Europe, but then the war started, the Iraq war, and everything was very tense in 2003. Everybody was pissed off at the Americans, so it was really hard to get to play that year. And so we
have
decided.
some other passports, like Canadian passports.
Yeah, I am Canadian, but the thing is that Potion is a band from San Francisco, and a lot of people were not very interested in having an American band come in and playing in Europe, for instance. And so, but then it passed by, that tension and passed by, and we were able to tour Europe for the first time in 2005 with our band, with a record Band of Outsiders that was just released in 2005. And then we did 2 tours in Europe, from Germany to Spain, and 1 extra tour in South America from Buenos Aires to Rio de Janeiro. And then we are here right now recording our next album, and we will be back in Europe in the fall, in the autumn of 2008, and we're gonna be there for 5 weeks.
Where exactly will you be?
Well, we'd like to go to Sweden this time and to the Netherlands. We'd like to go through Germany as well, and if we have a chance, we'd love to come to Bulgaria and play.
Oh yeah. I will do my best to organize you to come.
We'll work on that together.
I'm sure it's the Music It's Power podcast is going to be receiving Potion in the fall, in the autumn of this year.
For sure, yeah. And you're going to Sweden, right?
Yeah, we hope to go and play in Stockholm.
Because Sweden is a very good cultural indie music country.
Absolutely. We have some friends and bands there that we're trying to organize some shows with.
Can you tell us some name?
Yeah, there's a band there called Harjan Aino. I can't pronounce it properly, but they're a wonderful indie pop band out of Stockholm, and we're trying to see if we can organize a little something with them.
That's great. That's great. I can share with you some great Scotland Stockholm bands as well.
Awesome, that'd be
Yeah,
wonderful.
I have done interviews with them. And
That would be great, because then maybe we can play or tour with them, because that's the way we do it. Indie bands, they get together and they start touring together. For instance, when we went to South America, we played with the band Lucy and the Popsonics from Brasilia in Brazil. And then they just came a month ago to play in the United States for South by Southwest. And we got to share the stage with them here in San Francisco, which was great.
so you played in South by Southwest as well.
No, we didn't play with them. They were touring to South by Southwest, but they came to San Francisco so we could play together.
I see. And I'm wondering, why have you choose this name Potion?
Because, well, that word, I like that word. It's a mixture of different substances, and you create. It could be a cure, and it's something that changes your state of being. And we thought that our music was going to be something that was going to be able to make people feel good about themselves and or change their state of mind. So it was all about that.
I see. And okay, here's a question. Do you like to be a band in San Francisco? And what do you think of the idea of moving to Europe, for example, in London? And what can keeps you to stay in San Francisco? And what can make you to move out from there?
Well, I love, I think both of us do, living in San Francisco. It's a beautiful and extraordinary city, and there's so much music here. Any night of the week, you have a choice between at least 15 different live performances you can go and see. Another reason I like it is that everybody comes through here. So even though we're all the way out on the West Coast, the bands want to come through San Francisco, so we get a good opportunity to see a lot of music. It's great to be from San Francisco because in the United States there aren't that many places apart from Cisco, New York City, Chicago, Seattle. There's some big name cities where a lot of music happens, and where it's generally known that people have open minds and are open to different ideas. They speak different languages and they're interested in art. And so for us, these are really the centers of my nation that support our kind of art. However, we do have a good fan base in Europe, and we love to travel. We love meeting the people there, and we're fascinated by different cultures and different languages. So I think that if the right opportunity came for us to go to Europe and stay there for a while, we would jump at the chance.
We would totally jump at the chance of going to Europe. I'm not so sure about London, actually, because there's too many bands there, and there's a lot of competition, and instead of being a healthy competition, I'm sure that it would be like Los Angeles, that it's more industry competition, and that kind of takes out the art, the love of the music, out of the context of music.
Yeah, London was just an example. Maybe Stockholm is also.
Stockholm would be awesome. Actually, we love Berlin. It's an incredible city. This is the greatest thing. We went for the first time to Dusseldorf in 2006, and their claim to fame is the home of punk and alternative culture in Germany. They have a really independent and avant-garde art scene there, and just a wonderful group of musicians and artists that are really open and into the idea of community in the art world.
And okay, thank you very much for that. And don't blame me for the next question, but yeah, please. But if someone go to you and tell you that you look like the White Stripes, what do you tell to this person?
The White Stripes looks like us because we were together before the White Stripes got together. So
Okay.
We started playing music before we released our music before the White Stripes. So yes, if they look like us, if the White Stripes look like us, that's great. But we really look like them.
Maybe they saw Potion and that's why.
That's what we're thinking. They came to San Francisco as everybody does, saw Potion, and then took it from there.
Yeah, that's a good story. I will write to them.
Yeah, let them know and that we're totally into what they do.
For sure. And my favorite question is, can you tell me what is your band different from all other bands in the world?
What makes our band different from all other bands in the world is that, well, makes all bands different from each other. We all have different sources that we're pulling from for inspiration. And Mel and I come from very different backgrounds, different languages, and different cultures we travel a lot. So what that means is that we have a much more varied source of resources where we get our musical ideas from, where we get our lyrical ideas from. And this is what makes our music so unique. Our sources are interesting and different, and combined it in such a way that nobody else has been able to do or has done yet to this point.
And about your record label, did you find them, Blue Orange Records? Did you find them or they find you? And also I want to ask you, because you travel a lot and because you went to, as you said, in Latin America and Europe, they help you? Or how did you manage to do this, actually?
Well, Blue Orange Records is a new kind of record label, and we're actually part of the creation of it. Michelle and I put it together with a couple other musicians and DJs a few years ago, and our idea was to bring new music from all over the world into a place in San Francisco where we could share it with all of our friends, because we're all in bands and we're all involved in music, and we wanted to share what we were discovering with our friends here that don't travel and don't do that kind of research, aren't interested to the same degree that we are. So it's actually a collaborative effort, our record label, and so we all help each other. We work with bands and labels all over the world that we all have resources to exchange. So people from the label, ourselves, we all work under the same name and exchange venues to play at, different bands that we know. We share the stage, we help promote each other's work. And so it's more of a collaborative group as a record label.
And I think that's why we were able to organize a tour in South America, because we actually got in touch with the band Lucy and the Bobsonics in Brazil, and they said, you have to come to Brazil, you have to come to South America and play. We're going to help you out, we're going to organize everything for you. And they got us 4 shows. And then from then, we got in touch with other people through MySpace. We got in touch with a radio DJ called Ultimo Volumen in Curitiba, and then we got in touch with Peluqueria Records in Montevideo, Uruguay, and all of them were very, very excited about having us come in and going through South America, because there's not many American indie bands that go down to South America. Usually their bands are with major record labels and they're going for big festivals, but that's pretty much it.
But basically the idea is that even as a small indie band, that there are people like us and doing what we're doing all over the world. And if we pool our resources and if we share and if we make a community between each other, we can have lots of wonderful experiences and concerts and music, and share these experiences with each other. Like bands are coming to the United States. We have bands calling us or emailing us and record labels saying, hey, can you guys help us put a show together in San Francisco? And in exchange, they'll help us organize shows and organize different things whenever we go on tour.
That's a good idea. Maybe Music is Power podcast will be supporter of that as well.
That would be great.
And that would be great because Music Power podcast can have an opening, a window here in California, and people can listen to them through Blue Orange, and it's a great opportunity for many people to have access to the public here in California. We just finished putting together a compilation that includes bands from Japan, 2 bands from Italy, 2 bands from Spain, 2 bands from Germany, 1 band from Brazil, and that compilation is on Blue Orange Records right now, that people can download for free, and it's called Come Tomorrow.
That's great. Thanks for sharing that as well.
Yeah,
but
it's free.
But it's difficult because right now I'm trying to organize a concert for Italian band here in Bulgaria, and it seems it doesn't seem so easy,
Well, I think it also depends on what your vision is to organize a concert. For example, when we were going to play in Montevideo, the band we were going to play with wanted to organize a big concert hall and make a really huge concert. But there's not a public for us of that size yet because they don't know us yet in Montevideo. So we convinced them to organize in a smaller venue that didn't hold more than 150 people. And the place was packed and there were people lining up outside the door. So the next time we come back, we can book a much bigger venue. And it's a lot easier. I think that people make the mistake sometimes that they feel they need to make a giant event out of something. But when like the punk rock community, for example, when there were no venues that would allow them to play, people were doing house parties. And they would organize, bring like whatever amplifiers they had and make parties in their apartments or their homes or their garages and have the most incredible shows happening. And this was what built this do-it-yourself circuit, at least in the United States, and allowed for some really amazing names and bands to develop and play. I think that the most important thing, no matter how big or small the community, is that people get together and have a chance to share in this music and to witness this art.
I think it's more like about the vision of if you are very ambitious and you want to have a big show in Bulgaria and you're not famous, then you're going to waste your time trying to find something big when you can do something smaller and better. It's more simple. I think it's possible to organize shows everywhere in the world, and it's what you have, what you can get together. It's very important to keep things in a simple perspective. Like even if I have an acoustic guitar, I would be able to put together a show and enjoy playing in front of some people. It could be a party, it could be a big place. It doesn't really matter to me. As long as I get to play.
Yeah, I would take that as advice. So.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. And this is a hard one for you as well. You are one of the few bands that actually is only playing a sample of their songs in MySpace. Why is that?
Well, the reason that we chose to do that is because of the industry that owns MySpace. The American conglomerates and big corporations that are harmful to our freedom of the press and freedom of media. And we didn't want, although MySpace is a great place for community and everything else, we didn't want to make our music available in that way. However, we are totally into the idea of sharing and offering our music for people to use and hear, and all they need to do is contact us. But we don't want to put that out with any availability for the company of MySpace to have free access for it. It's like authorizing people that we don't support.
But the thing is that people don't read the instructions in MySpace, but by putting the entire song on MySpace, we give them the right to use the song in any capacity. So they could use it for political purposes, they could use it for any other kind of purposes that they want, and they don't need to ask us because we give them the permission to use the song. And so we kind of are not agreeing with that. And actually, we're not the only ones who are not putting the entire songs. Billy Bragg, the musician from the UK, was the one denouncing MySpace for having that line. It's a little line that says that everything that you publish on MySpace belongs to MySpace. And that's why we didn't want to be participating completely with that. And people don't read that, but it's there.
Yeah, I didn't know that as well,
Yeah.
actually. And
So we made a choice, but it's important as well to allow people access to your music. I mean, we want to have as many people that are interested to be able to come and hear it. And if they are interested in hearing more, then we welcome any communication.
And can you tell me a story? What's the story about the song "Band of Outsiders"? Because I played this song in the podcast, and also about the video as well, because the video is great. I saw it on YouTube.
Thank you so much.
No, really, I want to know who was the idea of the video.
Well, the video, actually, when we were in tour in 2006, we had the great fortune of working with an independent filmmaker named Alam Rajas in Barcelona. And we were in Barcelona for 3 days before we had our concert, and he suggested that we shoot some footage and try and make a video while we were there. So the song itself was written as from a film noir graphic novel. It is a collection of all of the film posters from all over the world of this type of film. And I don't know if you're very familiar with the film noir, but all of the titles are they kind of work together as an idea. They're about murder mystery, they're about the underbelly of society, easy women and men with guns and the whole thing. And so we stitched the titles together of these songs to make a story. And that's how Band of Outsiders came into existence. So when we spoke with Alam about doing this video through his company Bipolar Films, we suggested that we send him the writing from these posters. And so he shot it, and they edited it and superimposed the names, the titles of these films that are from the posters themselves, and that's how the video came into existence.
The interesting thing in the also is that every song lyrics in the song "Band of Outsiders" are movie titles. So every line is a movie title. You can actually look at the video and go and rent the movie if you like a title, and go and rent the movie, and it's an entire movie. So every line is a movie.
Wow, that's a hard song to write.
Yeah, yes, it was quite a puzzle to put together, but it was a lot of fun, and we really enjoyed shooting the video for it as well.
Yeah, you're a really, really, really good indie band, a classic one.
Thank you.
Yeah, doing such that, this can do only an indie band. I know that.
It's true, and that's the freedom of being in an independent band.
Yeah, we don't have anybody telling us what to do or what to write, and we think about crazy things, crazy ideas, and we just put them together.
Try and make it happen.
That's great, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah. I'm glad that the Music is Power podcast is all about indie music and indie bands like you, Potion.
Thank you.
Thank you as well. And sadly, the next question is my last question for you, but it's not actually a question, but it's more like can you tell me a story about you involving a live concert? some fun story do you have for our listeners?
A story about one of our live concerts.
Yeah, there's some funny story.
Yes, I do actually.
That's great.
We played in a concert in a city about 2 hours south of Berlin called Magdeburg. And we played at a venue there that wasn't actually designed to be a music venue. But the guy who organized the show, his name is Karsten, he wanted us to come so badly that he said yes, yes, yes to everything we asked about microphone stands, about speakers, about all of the technical issues.
Equipment, he said speakers, you have amplifiers, and he says yes, 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 we have everything.
So we arrive after a concert the night before in Berlin, and we arrive in Magdeburg, and this place isn't a venue, but it's this kind of 1920s style cafe with giant marble tables, a big carpet, and these huge overstuffed chairs, but no sound equipment at all.
Oh yeah.
And we're an electric band. So, so first, we don't even know where to set up. There's not a space in there. It's filled with all of this furniture. So the first thing they start to do is all out into the street.
Oh yeah.
They move all of these giant tables and these sofas out into the street. The second thing is Karsten comes to us and he says, I have some bad news. And I said, bad news? What are you telling me? This is all, we have enough bad news. He says, well, I looked at how they promoted your concerts. And they said that in the newspaper in Magdeburg, they listed us as a heavy metal band with girl dancers.
Oh yeah. That's impossible.
And so a lot of people were going to come to the venue looking to see heavy metal music.
Oh my god.
So first, bad to worse, we decide, okay, it doesn't matter, we'll figure this out. So Michelle, who's a genius with wires, managed to patch through their stereo system all of our electronics. We taped together to one microphone stand, our own microphone, using duct tape. And we played the entire show screaming at this one microphone. And the place, they had never seen that kind of music before. Everybody was dancing. They were so excited they wouldn't let us leave.
Oh, yeah.
And we ended up playing our set twice because they wouldn't let us stop.
Twice the same song.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Then we spent all night there with the guys and finally went to bed at 6 a.m. to leave the next day for Dusseldorf at another concert.
Oh my god.
But it was one of
story.
But these are the kind of experiences that it makes being an indie band so much fun and so much different than any other kind of experience, because we can go into a place and with nothing at all make a really fun evening. The party is a good time, and it's like having your own house party anywhere in the world. And it was such a great experience, and we feel really fortunate to have had it.
It's more about the attitude. I mean, I could have cried. I could have get mad at the bar. I could have did and say, "Okay, we're here. What do we do now?" You know, you put together a show. You know, that's all you can do. And that's what we did. And that's why I think that you don't really need anything to put a good show. You don't need any.
You just need to have the right attitude. Yes.
Okay, the first band is the Concretes.
Sweden.
Sweden, okay. And then Cat Power.
Sad.
Sorry?
Sadness.
Okay, and what about Yeah Yeah Yes?
No.
Okay. And the White Stripes.
Peppermint Candy.
Okay, and the Donis.
The Madonna.
Strange. Boot Red Shoes.
I'm sorry.
Boot Red Shoes.
Blood Red Shoes.
Yeah.
Italian good music.
Okay, and last band is Potion.
Super duper
crazy people.